Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2020, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is the first weekend.
Me? I can't touch you.
No. I've run back to Lincoln. It's the first weekend of the decade. And so, of course, it is FA Cup Round 3. There is a ton of games to get through, so I can't stress enough. Look down below in the description where you will find all the timestamps for the games so you can cherry pick certain matches that you want to look at. But if you want to stick with us for the whole thing, you will find some very entertaining commentary from Thomas Pickering, who's going to try bluff and pretend he knows anything about these teams outside of the top 7 in the Premier League. So, without further ado, Thomas, lead us into the first match.
Bristol City vs Shrewsbury Town.
Yes, not the most exciting game to kick us off with. Shrewsbury Town, as you watch our League One predictions, you will know I say they play a bit of anti-football. Very turgid, very hard to watch. They'll make it tough for Bristol City, but you would fancy them to overcome them in this one. I'm going to say 2-0 Bristol City.
I'm going to go 1-0 Bristol City. Tough match, but I still got the Citizens to win.
Millwall versus our favourites, Newport County.
Well, as I can't stand Millwall and I actually love Newport County, I'm going to go for a shock victory here to Newport. They do play quite good football. They're a pretty solid team. I don't know where they are in the league. I don't. I just liked watching them, and they were really good when we watched them. So I'm going to go with Newport beating Millwall. They're going to win 2-0.
That is bluff number 1, everybody. Newport have had quite a poor season. They're not doing that great as of late. Gary Rowett's come into Millwall and made them a lot better. Actually, he's said he's surprised at how well he is doing. I think the Lions of Millwall will win this, and I think it will be a 3-0 win.
Ian, can you get a bluff meter on the side when we're doing this? So just under my name it says...
I don't think the numbers will go high enough.
Yo, I really want it. So just like a cartoon like 1, then a cartoon 2.
You kill me. You kill me.
The meter. Rochdale versus Newcastle United. Ian, it's your 2 favourite clubs.
I'm conflicted. I'm in absolute inner turmoil. Don't let the Oxford United stuff fool you. I am in love with Rochdale, but they're coming up against the greatest manager of all time in Steve Bruce and his wounded Newcastle side that needs to get back to winning ways. You could see this one being an upset. I don't know. I just have a feeling Bruce is going to rest loads of players despite him being the second coming of Kevin Keegan.
Honestly, I will love it if we beat them.
But I have to back the Magpies just because of Bruce. Edge it 2-1.
Really quickly, and we're not going to get into this right now, but apparently Newcastle United are doing better now than they were under Rafa Benitez at the same point last season. He's playing the exact same style of football, doing the exact same stuff with an ever so slightly possibly better team, and people still want him sacked. And for the first time this season...
Who are these people?
He's still being on.
No.
But anyway, all I'm going to say is I'm slowly going on Steve Bruce's side. I got them beating Rochdale 1-0.
Rotherham United versus Hull City.
Well, Rotherham United are winning the League 4 and Hull City are in League 5, so I'm not really sure how to pick this one, but I'll go with a Rotherham United victory over the Hull City 2-0. That is a shock, I believe.
Yeah, I think it'll be an upset. You can see it. I mean, you don't know what to expect from Hull. They're never dull, is Hull. Haha. But Rotherham are in really good form. I actually think this might be a draw. I'm going to say 1-1.
Yeah, I'm refusing to pick draws in this. Birmingham City versus Blackburn Rovers.
All championship affair. I cannot back Birmingham City with them being managed by Pep Clotet. I just don't like that guy for what he did at Oxford, even though he wasn't there that long. And he wasn't really that bad. But just, old wounds. Blackburn do quite well under Tony Mowbray. This toss of a coin. I'll say Blackburn nick it 2-1.
Yeah, see, I can't stand Blackburn over that whole Steve Keane incident, so I'll never back them in anything. I'll get Birmingham to get a scraped-out win here, 1-0.
Get the banana skins out. This one could be an upset. Burnley versus Peterborough United.
I mean, Burnley are at home, but Peterborough cannot stop scoring goals until recently, when they just haven't been that great. Not a bluff. I have checked the table. They have fallen down. They're still scoring goals.
I'll give you some credit that you do actually know a tiny bit about League One.
Yes, James Maddison plays there alongside Lucas Fabianski. And I've got...
Marcus Maddison. And it's Neil Fabianski.
Yeah, there you go. Actually true?
No.
It's close. I got a 1-1 draw.
you don't know how many players Dyche is going to rest. Burnley are still not doing amazingly in the Premier League, and they usually don't even really take the FA Cup that seriously. So draw is probably about fair. Let's say Burnley nick it. 1-0 win to Burnley.
Brighton and Hove and Albion for Sheffield and Wednesday.
You wouldn't be shocked if both sides make loads of changes in this one. It's a sad indictment on where the FA Cup is at the moment, that sides don't really get that excited about it until they get 2 or 3 rounds further down the line. But Brighton are doing well enough to say that they could take this. You know, they don't necessarily need to make a load of changes. And I think Brighton will overcome the Owls. And I think Brighton will win by 3-1.
Yeah, Brighton
with the ever excellent Neil Maupay scoring the goals.
Neil, we know about you. Brighton and Hove, their second string kind of pushed Tottenham quite hard before their first string went out and roundly beat my man crush Eddie Howe. So I've got their second string able to beat this Sheffield Wednesday team. I don't know why. I feel like they're going to fly into this game. They're kind of on a high. Let's go 3-0 to the Hove.
Cardiff City versus Carlisle United.
All right, well, I don't know what match you're looking at, because I'm looking at Cardiff City versus Carlisle United. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure Carlisle's in Scotland, and I'm pretty sure Cardiff is in France. So I'm going to go with a Cardiff City victory. 2-0?
I'm not going to touch on your geography because it's on point as ever. You would have to back Cardiff in this one. Carlisle have not been that great at all this season. Don't know what's gone wrong there, but so you would say Cardiff City. I'm going to say win 2-0 as well.
Fulham versus Aston Villa.
Villa really doing poorly in the Premier League, and it's just I don't know. Sometimes they don't even seem up for games, which seems really weird. Like I don't know what. I don't know whether they're going to question Dean Smith and whether they're going to get rid of him, but they're not doing great. And I can see Fulham actually winning this one because Villa just won't want to take. They'll 11 changes probably for Aston Villa in this. Fulham will win, and I think they'll win quite comfortably. I think it's going to be 2-0 Fulham.
One of my New Year's resolutions is going to be not to constantly ask for managers to get sacked unless they coach at Arsenal or Everton.
Just going to interrupt. That's actually the opposite of mine.
Well, that's perfect. We can switch now because normally you're the voice of reason. But Aston Villa pretty clearly needs to get rid of Dean Smith. Something needs to change there. Some of the players are up for it, some of them aren't. And I think sometimes the leadership change is kind of just what you need to kind of kick it up the players to realize that if the next manager fails, it's now more on the players than it is on the manager. And a lot of them are going to have a hard time getting in a team or getting a job. I also have Fulham to win this. I'm going for humiliation. 3-0 to Fulham.
So would you say Dean Smith's just been like a victim of being too successful the season before?
Yeah, they were really good. He got them up. He's a hometown boy. He's got the support of the villains, as they are. But something has to change there. Like, they're doing really badly. They're losing matches they should win. Their football seems to ebb.
Spent a lot of money as well.
Yeah, and you know, you saw Fulham the year before almost kept their manager too long and then didn't have Villa needs something to change. And unfortunately, the easiest thing to change is the manager.
Yeah, especially when you see what Watford have done. Two sides on the ascendancy. Southampton versus Huddersfield.
Well, Huddersfield are garbage. Southampton are just about scraping by being sub-garbage. They're kind of like the lid on the garbage bin. They still smell like shit. They're still a terrible thing to have to deal with. But they're there, and they'll be there next week. Unlike the garbage, which is going to get taken out and flushed. I've got Southampton to win this, though. I think they need the wins to keep coming. I think putting out a weakened side is just going to hurt what little momentum they have. So I've got Southampton to beat Huddersfield 1-0.
Just shows you when you've got a good striker, everything just seems to fall into place. Like Danny Ings has been excellent for Southampton, and he's really been a catalyst of their resurgence in form. As much as I don't like that because they're keeping House and Hootle under hostage. Huddersfield were garbage, but the Cowleys have done a really good job there and have improved them a lot, and they've been on a really good run themselves. I can see this being a draw, and going back to Huddersfield, I'm going to say this is going to be 2-2 draw.
No one wants to go to Huddersfield. Brentford for Stoke City.
Or championship affair. I don't think it's going to be very exciting. I'm just going to back Brentford because they're pretty good at home. 1-0 Brentford.
Are we still on day one? There are 3 days of FA Cup matches and we're still on... Okay, you know what? You people that complained about this last year, the pain you're putting the two of us through right now is not fair. Brentford 1-0.
That's some quite deep analysis on both of those sides. Preston North End versus Norwich City.
Right, I'm pretty sure both of these are in the Championship. I've got the PNE. They're gonna shock this diabolical club called Norwich City, and they're gonna win at home against the Premiership relegation fighters 1-0.
Yeah, I'm just going to back Norwich in this one. I don't know why. Again, it's probably a sort of game that both sides don't really want. Preston are trying to get into the playoffs, and Norwich obviously trying to avoid relegation. Norwich to win 2-1 for me.
It's weird when you look at like the bottom of the Premier League and the top of the Championship. In reality, there's like 4 places that actually for them. It's
not the big gap it used to be.
No.
League One and Championship's a bigger gap now.
I've been really impressed. I know, totally off topic, and we'll get to this, but I've been really impressed at how the last couple of years Championship sides have adapted to the Premier League. It's almost like when you get promoted, they've realized we have to be cleverer than we used to be. Like, we are spending money, we have to spend money the correct way, and they're really trying to build a club when they come up, as opposed to some teams that would just splash a bunch of cash they had and then go back down.
Right. Look at the last 2 that did that. Fulham were poor and Villa have been poor this year.
Anyway, right, let's go on some more football. Reading versus Blackpool.
Not a big fan of Reading. They're far too close to Oxford geographically for me to like them at all. So, I'm going to have to back Blackpool. Great entertainers that they are. Go on, you Tangerines. 2-0 win for Blackpool.
I think the Tangerines are going to lose to the Reading, but I also think that because I've picked a shock in half the matches and I need to stop doing that. So, Reading to win at home 2-0.
I don't think you're going to pick a shock in this one. Watford versus Tranmere Rovers.
Up the Tranmere!
No. You can't depart from what you usually say about Tranmere.
Well, Littleton's 3rd best club will be playing against Watford.
London's 8th best club?
It depends. Is Watford in London? I say yes. People from Watford say no. I back Watford in this. They are being resurgent under Nigel, and they, again, are one of these clubs that need the winning to continue because the loss to Tranmere is debilitating. Tranmere are also debilitating to watch. Watford to win 3-0.
I think it'll be 2-0 Watford. Not much more to say about that one.
AFC Bournemouth versus Luton Town.
This one could be a shock, though, because Eddie Howe, he doesn't have any players to start with, and he usually makes a ton of changes and can't get out cup competitions quick enough. I think it's time with my New Year's resolution of sacking managers, get rid of Howe. He's a hack fraud. Luton to win 2-1.
I honestly feel bad for Eddie Howe. I watched the Brighton game, and you were just like, Brighton, 7 changes, they were up for it. Eddie Howe literally just brought in the 2 players that were injured before and was like, here, please just plug a hole. And then players were just, billing doesn't look up for it. Half their team looks exhausted, and they are exhausted because they have no subs. They have nothing to do.
They're in a tough spot, and they really could do without the FA Cup.
It would be really nice. I know Bournemouth are a small club, and I know he trusts all his players, and that's his team. But it'd be nice to see them sign a couple ready-to-go players in January. Just like, we need to keep going. This club...
Van Dijk.
Yes, Van Dijk.
Eriksen.
Christian Eriksen. And let's throw in Danny Ings for fun, shall we?
Yeah, perfect.
Team. I've got Bournemouth to win this, but they're going to wish they didn't. It's going to be a scrappy 1-0 victory to them.
Leicester City, Wigan Athletic.
I think Leicester might have this. They're on what's known as a good run. I believe 2nd in the Premier League or something. Wigan I know nothing about. I'm assuming they're doing badly in the Championship.
You are right to assume that, Tom.
You better keep the bluff meter down on this. I know my shit. Okay. I'm going to go with Leicester City to beat Wigan 2-0.
Yeah, home win all day long for this. I think it'll be Leicester City 3, Wigan 0.
Christy, and Fleetwood Town versus Portsmouth.
Oh, it's like League One predictions all over again. Well, if you watch our League One predictions, you'll know we have no love for Fleetwood Town. Joey Barton sent off again recently on the touchline. How is he still in a job? How is he not at Wormwood Scrubs? Who knows? And let's hope Pompey can go all the way up there and cause, well, not really an upset. Let's hope Portsmouth can just do the job. 2-0 Pompey.
We're only 10 minutes into this year's predictions. I've promised to stop asking for managers to get sacked, and I'm on my 2nd one now. Get him out.
Yeah, he's a unique case.
Free Fleetwood Town. This dictator of crime is running roughshod over everyone. How did the warden of the prison become the biggest crook himself? I don't know, but it's happened. I'm voting for the Pompey. Come on, the boys in blue. Win this one 2-0.
They're like the police, the boys in blue. Right, let's see how quickly we can do this one. Man City versus Port Vale.
4-0.
Yep, gonna be in there. Yep, 4-0.
Everybody, very quickly, I have to take a second here and thank you for watching. I have to thank you for helping us reach 1,000 subscribers as well. Despite the YouTube channel not actually saying we reached 1,000, YouTube have written to us to tell us we've reached 1,000. So, with that, thank you very much. Please continue liking, please continue subscribing, please continue going below this and looking at the timestamps, because my god, I couldn't sit through all of this. It's unadulterated garbage, even with me only bluffing half the time. Ian at least knows what's going on. But thank you for all your support. Please check out Grandstand Betters. They're having a great year. If you keep betting on their free play of the day, you'd be over £200. The good right now, maybe even more if you bet more than the £25 they're telling you to. Maybe put 50, maybe put 100. That doesn't. Feel like I shouldn't be telling people to do that. I'm going to take that back. But please go to Grandstand Betters, have a look. Check out all the links in the bottom of here. Every now and then I update the website. We've got a bit of social media going. And honestly, Ian will cry if we do not continue to build on our base of 1,000 subscribers. And without further ado, gilding the lily or anything else, let's finish off this FA hell. Charlton Athletic versus West Bromwich Albion.
An all-championship affair. West Brom obviously more of an eye of getting promotion. I think this one's going to be a draw. I'm going to go for a dour 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm unenthused by both of these teams. Charlton play in the Southern Athletic League and West Bromwich Albion clearly play in the North Athletic League. Obviously, both of these countries are Ireland. I've got 0-0. Just 0-0.
This fixture seems to happen every year. Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest.
Well, didn't Forest win this one last year?
I think it's like they play each other all the time in the cup.
Yeah, it's either I feel like Forest either play Chelsea or Arsenal. It's just
true, they do, yeah.
This Chelsea team are absolutely bonkers to watch right now. They cannot defend for love nor money, but they do, especially the second half of that Arsenal match, seem to be coming out of their funk. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, are always going to be one of the biggest drama clubs in the country. And as such, I think they're going to cause an upset here, because this is what they love. Nottingham Forest 4, Chelsea 3.
Oh, my word. Yeah, I don't see that happening at all. I see it being a lower scoring game, and I see Chelsea winning by the odd goal, but not quite as exciting. 2-1 Chelsea.
I thought you were going to go 5-4. Yeah. Crew versus Barnsley.
So Crew, despite what we said at the start in League 2 predictions, or what I said, because you didn't even bother doing it, Crew are actually doing really well in League 2. You didn't, you just read them out in alphabetical order. So you probably did have Crew near the top. Ironically. Barnsley weren't great, but have improved as the season's gone on. I can see Barnsley will win this one. I think Barnsley will win this one 2-0.
1-0.
Middlesbrough versus Tottenham Hotspur.
I don't think Jose wants to lose this. I think Jose knows that he's been brought in to win a cup at Spurs, and this is an easily attainable goal for him here. Spurs are in the top 3 or 4 clubs in England. They should be in the semi-finals at least. I think this is going to be the most boring 2-0 victory you've ever watched. Tottenham to win.
Yeah, like there never seems to be a lot of goals in Middlesbrough games, and they can implode. So I think Tottenham will win as well. I think Tottenham will win 1-0.
QPR versus Swansea City.
Toss of the coin this one. Both sides kind of middle of the pack in the Championship. QPR seem to always find a way to shoot themselves in the foot in games, so I'm going to back the Swans. 3-1 Swansea.
Oh, Swans must be missing Daniel James right now. He has been a revelation. A revelation. Rare. As a Man United fan, I get to be happy that we signed somebody, but that boy. Typically, sir.
He is good.
Swansea to win. 2-0.
Oh my god, we actually get to talk about a non-league side. There's not been many of them in this round 3 so far. But not Sheffield United. They're a Premier League side. AFC Fylde.
I actually think that if they weren't playing a team like Sheffield United, they could go further, but there's absolutely no way Chris Wilder puts out anything close to a team that should lose this match. Not only that, you're pretty sure Chris Wilder would beat his players within an inch of their life if they lost this game. AFC Fylde, they're going to hold out strong. It's going to look good, but the end scoreline will be Sheffield United 4, AFC Fylde 0.
Yeah, just the classic cliche of a good day out for Fylde. They're not doing well in the National League, and they've done really well to get to round 3. But here's a picture of Chris Wilder sliding to not only celebrate getting promotion, from the National League, but to celebrate beating Fylde. And I don't know where that came from. And they're going to win 3-0.
Well, Ian, we've got an all League One affair here as the Rover Car Factory take on the Sky Blues.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with League One, Tom's got a weird thought in his head that the Rover car was made in Bristol, and that's why Bristol Rovers are called Bristol Rovers.
Why
Coventry City.
Your team Rover?
You got your churn in a minute. Coventry City. Yeah, they've had a bit of a tough draw. They had Ipswich last time out, and now they've got Bristol Rovers away. It's not exactly like the glamour ties that they're picking, but that gives them a chance of getting through. Although I am going to back Bristol Rovers just because Coventry are better at well, they don't have a home. They're better when they play on the home side than the away side. Bristol Rovers to win by 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I think the Rover Car Factory is in full flow, the loss of their manager on the shop floor has caused some serious problems. Production is down. People are dropping tools and just giving in. It's been a really tough time in there. I mean, there's accidents abounding everywhere, injuries at work. So what I've got here is I've got a team that's probably going to lose to Coventry City. I think that the hedge fund maniac, megalomania hitmen that run Coventry are going to walk in and say, we want the £75,000 of prize money. They're going to say, you win this for us, Sky Blues. Coventry City will win 2-0.
Yeah, I can't stress enough. Use those timestamps. Burton Albion versus Northampton Town.
Just out of interest, is this just the ravings of a lunatic at this point?
Oh my god, isn't it just? Makes me sound sane.
Yeah, okay, so Northampton are in the League 2? And Burton Albion are in the League 1?
You know Burton Albion are in League 1.
Yeah, I love Nigel Clough. 2-0 to Cleffy.
Yep, Burton Albion to win at home as well. I will back that as well. 2-0 to Burton Albion. Well, Thomas, watch out! The Eagles are coming. And let's hope the Rams can scare them away. It's Crystal Palace versus Derby County.
Okay, look, if we're talking about a battle between a bunch of Eagles and some Rams, the Eagles are clearly going to win. They have the advantage of height, and if they're a big enough Eagle, they can pick the Ram up and drop him. And as such...
Okay. Okay.
As such, Palace to win 2-0.
Palace at home? Are you sure? This could be Wayne Rooney's debut.
They can't stop winning.
This could be Wayne Rooney's debut for Derby.
No, they're definitely not going to win.
Oh, I'm going to say it. Wayne Rooney is going to come on. He's going to score the winner in this one because Roy Hodgson's going to rest all his Eagles for the Premier League, and it's going to be like a battering ram for the Rams, and Wayne Rooney's going to ram one home, and it's going to be a ramming in London, a 1-0 to the Rams.
Can't wait till Derby are out of the FA Cup and you can't say that anymore. Ooh, Ian, it's the first versus the second best team in Liverpool.
A Tranmere playing?
It's Liverpool versus Everton.
The Merseyside derby. You would have to feel sorry for Everton drawing Liverpool out of the bag. It kind of scuffers Carlos Ancelotti's hopes of doing well in this tournament because you just cannot back against Liverpool losing any game of football, as annoying as it is. Klopp seems to want to win everything, and Liverpool seem to want to win everything, and they're gonna. And Anfield is an absolute fortress. So, and they've beaten them quite handily recently too. Liverpool will win 3-1.
I'm gonna go with 2-0. This is Liverpool don't look that inspired except against the top teams, and Everton are Everton.
I've never seen a team that's like so, like just does enough every game. It's like, you know, they play against Leicester. They know they have to go out and perform. They go out and perform. They go and play like a team like Watford. We'll do enough. We'll get by. It's crazy. They seem to just like be able to turn it on at will.
That Wolves game, they barely got by, and yet they just keep getting by. Is there a bar in the FA Cup?
Yeah, but not every game. I think there's certain games.
Oh, they'll have it. They'll win. That's fine.
Gillingham versus a returning David Moyes, West Ham United.
Well, all David Moyes does is win. I don't know if you heard, but all he does is win. And against League One Gillingham, I suspect he'll do just that and win 3-0.
I just can't believe that trophy cabinet at Manchester United had nothing in it until Moyes came along. And now it is filled to burst. Why they ever got rid of him, I'll never know. Gillingham are actually pretty good at home, and they're doing well in League One. And I have a feeling that Steve Evans is going to get a victory here It's going to be 2-1 to Gillingham.
But let's do this now. Let's get rid of the last match that no one cares about. Arsenal versus Leeds.
Well, Tom, I'm sure you will wetting yourself laughing at Chelsea's comeback recently over Arsenal, spoiling Arteta's home debut. And Leeds will be a tough prospect as well. I know, Bielsa's got a good side there. I mean, they just came off a crazy game against Birmingham where they won 5-4. Earlier on in the season, it was like virtually impossible to score against them. Now they seem to just be in this little groove where they find a way to win. And unless Arteta's got some backbone into this Arsenal side, it could be very difficult for them. But I just fancy Arsenal are going to win this one, and I think they'll win it by 2-1.
The raging dumpster fire of Arsenal has continued. Doesn't matter who's in charge of them. This club is a shit show. Despite
at what point do you say they're in a relegation fight?
Never, unfortunately. But I mean, how great would it be if they did what Chelsea did 2 or 3 years ago, where they're in like 17th place? Yeah. That'd be awesome. I think Leeds are going to win this. I think Leeds are going to actually thrash Arsenal. I think Leeds win this 3-0.
Okay, folks, you've been with us a long time and we've had many games to talk about. But now it's time for our double-header main event, starting with
Oxford United versus Hartlepool United.
Well, Tom, I think Hartlepool get a bad rap. Because surely if you found a monkey up in the north and it wasn't speaking English, of course you would hang it and accuse it of being a French spy. And ever since then, they've been known as the monkey hangers. And I find that very, very, very harsh indeed. That's a true story. You can go and look that up. One of the few sides in the National League that have made it through, come up against one of the greatest sides in the world, led by one of the greatest managers in the world, Oxford United. Second in League One, a fantastic 2019 behind them. Carl Robinson has actually done a really good job over the course of the year, and he is focused on every game, and Oxford will definitely not slip up in this one. It'll be a 2-0 win for the Yellows.
Ian, I want you to take this moment and frame it, because this is as good as it gets for Oxford before they lose 12 straight games and get relegated. So please enjoy this, soak it in, fill your boots.
Thankfully, Tom, they've done so well that even if they did, they won't get relegated.
Oh, it's very good, right? So when they ended 15th place this year, you've still got something to cling on to, and it was Christmas, New Year's, second place. But they will also win this game because Hartlepool are just not good enough, or Hartlepool as I would call them. Oxford United to win this 2-0.
And we finally move on to our second main event.
Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Manchester United.
Don't know how to predict this one, so I'm going to throw it over to you, resident Man United fan. What do you think?
I don't know. Wolves have really impressed me. I thought they got a little bit screwed over in the Liverpool game. They got a little bit screwed over in the City match as well, but they rode it and they played well. Adama Traore has become a good footballer as well, apparently.
I'm glad you mentioned him, because I always forget to talk about him. But what an absolute beast.
Oh, he was honestly incredible. The funny thing in the City match is he was either the best player on the pitch or the worst to anyone. Yeah. He was either giving the ball away in the worst possible place or beating 4 men and putting a perfect cross in or drilling the ball in. It's
exciting player though, isn't he? Like you can sort of player that always runs at people. He's built like a rugby league player.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but yeah, he's huge. He's absolutely huge. Man United actually played well. They seem to actually realize that to break down a team, counter-attacking is a thing to do, not build up play as slowly as humanly possible. As well as that, they all seem to want to be there in the last match, which was really fun to watch. Man United team that looked interested in playing football. I'm going to back United. Ollie's at the wheel. 2-0 to the Reds.
The game you're referring to is the game against Burnley, because we're filming this before they play Arsenal in New Year's Day. And I agree, I thought Manchester United were as good as I've seen them against a lower Premier League side in quite a while. Actually, the biggest thing that impressed me is they looked up for the fight, and that was something that I quite enjoyed. They didn't look like they were going to be out-bullied or out-muscled by Burnley, and that was something I hope they take forward. Wolves, on the other hand, are really good, and depending on what changes people make, which is obviously a common theme in this round, I think Ollie will take it seriously, but I think it's going to be a draw, and I think Man United will win this in the replay. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Well, everybody, we would like to thank you for tuning in for the last 35 minutes of inane rambling. Me and Ian both need a break at this point. I need a drink.
Magnum opus.
We wish you a happy holidays, a happy New Year's, and Ian, I believe there's something you'd like them to know.
I'm getting a sex change.
And if you're looking for detailed football analysis, you're pretty clearly in the wrong place.